minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Ready for the most exciting football competition in St. Lucia. The JP It's a Side Medium Goals Football Competition is coming to the home of football in Foasson. Presented by John Paul, the SLP endorsed candidate for Babonneau. This tournament promises to be an unforgettable experience. Join us on Saturday, September 6th and Sunday, September 7th from 5 p.m. onwards. Compete against the best teams and win big. The prizes are as follows. First place winner, $2,000 in cash. Second place, $1,000. Third place, $500. Most goals, $250. And MVP, also $250. For more information, call 727-8180. Don't miss out on the action. Mark your calendars for September 6th and 7th and come support your favorite team at the home of football in Foasson. It's gonna be epic. The JP It's a Side Medium Goals Football Competition, where skill meets excitement. See you there.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, anytime to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Friday afternoon to you, everyone. Welcome once again to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, going solo today. I think we had told you since yesterday that, and you know, on Fridays, Terry isn't available to us. Sometimes we would have Miguel coming in place of Terry, but I think we also told you that Miguel is facing the little challenge of the hospitalization of his beloved daughter. And he did indicate to me that because of that, coupled with his other work, he would be unable to be with us at all for this week. But I know that I'm never alone. I know that you are with me all the time, and I appreciate your company. I appreciate your support and encouragement. I appreciate your feedback, your suggestions, which all go to improving this program, because after all, you're what it's really all about. Hope you're having a good day so far, and are looking forward to a wonderful weekend. Yep, our program airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station called Real FM that serves you on two frequencies, 91.3 for the north, 91.5 for the south. We simulcast on NBC Television, channel 120, on the Flow Cable TV service. We are on Facebook Live and on YouTube live streaming as well. It's no news that I try on Fridays to open the phone lines super early, recognizing that there will be an intervening 2 days, and so it's on the third day that we'll be together again, so give you as much opportunity to vent and express yourself, to make your input and your contribution to the program. Good afternoon to you people on the Real Issues WhatsApp chat group. Thanks once again for making it what it is, a group of well over 300, but that keeps up the tempo and the momentum, never becoming worn, never becoming trite, never becoming, blasé and the sort of thing that, is neither here nor there, is so ho-hum that you might as well not be there. Not so with the Real Issues WhatsApp chat group, and so I really do appreciate that. Let me just say that after I did Zafenu this morning, that's a separate program. I don't like bringing one program into another. I got a message from a government minister, I won't say which government minister it was, and says, Shelton, I noticed you launched an attack on the government this morning. I was stunned, I was nonplussed. I was befuddled and taken aback, confused, and wondering what constitutes an attack. It's a word that tumbles out of our mouths, mine included, very easily. I did say about certain things where key, known, prominent, long-serving, as we call, inveterate supporters of the Labour Party, and hence the government that it forms, have been experiencing some challenges which not even the Labour Party being in office appears amenable for solution so as to bring them relief. That's the point that I was making. So to those people who like to accuse the Labour Party of looking out for its own and discriminating against non-supporters, that isn't true. Because the people that I have mentioned, the challenges that they have faced, whether with pension and retirement benefits, whether it be with land purchase and acquisition, whether it be with having their business set up and being displaced because somebody had some other bright idea, that it has gone across different administrations. In fact, two of the gentlemen I'm talking about, their challenge arose while a Labour government was in office. It continued when the UWP won. We know Labour was in office until 2006. UWP won December 2006 to November 2011. Labour came in again. And this gentleman has had this challenge. Labour was in office and he was supposed to have been, I suppose, one of the very valued people. It didn't get resolved then. UWP won. It didn't get resolved then. Labour came back. It didn't get resolved then. UWP came back. It didn't get resolved then. Labour has come back and is almost at the end of its current term. 4 plus, 4 plus out of 5 years, and there's no end in sight for the gentleman. And I actually said that the Labour government, its ministers, its cabinet members need to look out to ensure that their policies, their plans, what they intend to do right by people, not just their supporters, the other people who have it. I was just using these people to illustrate that not even their well-known support for and association with the current government has made things any easier for them. That's the point I was making. Make sure that they are not people, technical officers, technocrats, administrators, whatever you call them, heads of statutory bodies or officials of statutory bodies, who are not playing a game in frustrating people deliberately so that they can become sour, bitter against the government of the day, in this case the Labour Party. That's what I was saying. And no attack on any government or anything of that kind. If the government is to blame, well, it is to blame. And I mentioned 2 situations that have been outstanding for at least about 25 years. People, that's a long time, you know. That's a long time, you know. That's a long time for something pertaining to land that a man received a letter confirming the approval to sell to him land whose purchase he had applied for, telling him, yes, we have agreed to sell it to you at so and so and so, at $10 a square foot, XYZ. You are required to make a deposit of 10% of the purchase price. And for that thing to go on for 25 years, it don't matter whether it's a flambeau it happened to. 25 years, people, that is a long time. It don't matter. It doesn't mean you have to point fingers at this person or that person, whatever. Maybe the government minister in question felt that I was pointing inadvertently or otherwise some finger at him or her. I wasn't. You know, I wasn't. I'm simply making the point that some things are dragging on far too long. They are a denial of natural justice, the perception of rights. You know what I mean? They're just a denial of it all. And I even made the point that if you know who the person's lawyer is, a former prime minister, the person who was prime minister when that agreement to sell the gentleman the land was, now a backbencher is his lawyer, and not even that person seems to have the weight of influence or legal, whatever we call it. He's not sort of legal acumen for sure, you know, but the legal eagle kind of thing to be able to cause that thing to move along a millimeter further. It's not happening. And my whole point about it is, look, communication. If there is a situation where you are rethinking the matter of selling the land, maybe in the 25 years, the area where the land is, the population and settlements and the need for housing and other things, or health center, community center, have grown so much in that time that you decide, look, man, to sell one man 5 acres or 10 acres or 15 acres in one area while there are people there who are scrunting for land, who are squatting, a simple thing. The person may not be happy, but call the person in, the appropriate officials and agents, whatever, and have a discussion and say, look, we understand that this thing has dragged on, that it is unfair to you, but, you know, in that time, that area, the whole nature of the area has changed. You know, it's no longer an agricultural area, it's more residential. There are people now, there's a clamor for and pressure for land in the area and so on. So, you know, we just want you to understand that we cannot sell you more than 3 acres or 5 acres or 7 acres, and the rest we need to reserve for housing. I mean, talk to people. It's the communication that matters. There's no attack in this kind of thing, you know, and find out some kind of mechanism where you can appease the person so that they don't end up taking you to court for opportunity cost and loss of opportunity that they had plans for cultivation and plantation and investment. That's all. Talk to people. Talk to them. The other guy which I spoke about, who was a teacher for 30 years, I'm not pointing because, again, that span of time spans administrations. It spans labor, then flambeau, then labor, then flambeau, labor again, you know. It spans about 5 terms of different governments alternating and so on. If it is found that when you do the calculation that, look, you know, the amount of money we'll have to pay is kind of, you know, dread at this time, and, you know, other people might be watching and might be saying, you know, again, call the man, have a word with him and say, look, we can't do this, but we can do that, we can X, Y, Z. Talk to people, negotiate, speak, you know. The fella down at Beausejour who had that rabbit farm that found himself displaced and is claiming so many losses, whatever. Maybe what he's claiming for compensation, perhaps, what is it? Is it Invest St. Lucia, whatever? It's not in their budget, they can't afford it now. But, I don't know what the state is at, but have negotiations, talk to the person. Negotiations, we have great diplomats who are not officially assigned the title of ambassador to this, but they're able to, talk to somebody. We can't give you this, but this is what we can give, which will make up for that, and XYZ, and ABC, and so on. People, we can do those kind of things. I just find sometimes the communication is left a-begging. Even the police, who generally do a good job, who are doing a better job than before. And by the way, I'll say again, when it comes to police, I am putting down anybody, this is not a statement to say this person is better than this one or that one. I don't know, I'm not competent to judge. But I have to say, the few times since I have been back from Antigua, because I didn't know of Ronald Phillip before. That name just wasn't popping up on my news or whatever radar and so on. It's from since I came, the name has come. On every occasion that this deputy commissioner has had to be holding the top spot because of the vacation, sick leave, whatever it is, end of contract leave of Milton Daisy living and Cressida, Descartes Pelleus, and the breaks in between that he has filled in. I don't know. I'm not saying crime stopped, I'm not saying homicide stops, as clearly that's not true. But there is something about Ronald Phillip that I cannot put my finger on. Somebody explain to me, whenever this man is at the helm of the police force, for some reason, when the matter of the crime and fellas acting up and misbehaving, they seem to quiet down. They seem to quiet down. Now, I think he was acting commissioner when we had that double shooting on the Saturday, on the weekend, because he came out to speak about it. But that was what I liked too. Where they shot somebody on Miku Street near the KFC, and another one on the Jeremy Street taxi stand and this kind of thing. He came out. That's another thing I like. This kind of instant responsiveness. Yes, so and so and so. And you know what I liked about it? He gave an indication of what's behind it. The drugs, not drugs. I think he said gang, this gang rivalry and this kind of thing. He gave us, I've been asking for that kind of briefing. Give the public a sense of what is going on. So people are not walking around overly terrified and spooked, because that's why I keep on saying, these fellas now are committing crimes not just for the sake of getting somebody they after, They want to terrify the neighborhood and the population and make people, be absolutely afraid to venture out. So the streets, the neighborhood, stay inside. We run things. We don't want you to see. Don't come by your window and watch because we might fire a shot at you, or something of that sort. They just want to keep the population paralyzed with fear. Ronald Phillip, he came out, he spoke. He didn't stop. The people were killed already. I think since then we may have had. But there is something about him. Anytime he is in charge of the force, I notice things cool out a little. Now, there seems to be a lot of opposition to him. There seems to be a lot of people who, anytime they believe there is a chance that he will be elevated, confirmed in the post of commissioner, they start to act up, including some ex-cops who may have been his senior and so on, and they come up. I don't know what it is. Something about Ronald Phillip is panicking them. They try to pin it on this allegation and all, even though they heard the commissioner say, even though he didn't mention Ronald Phillip's name, that the DPP has told him that, look, what is presented forward as evidence and so on, that cannot hold up. They cannot move forward with it. They cannot make a case. They cannot prosecute. It doesn't meet the standard. It doesn't pass muster as evidence and so on. And I do hope that whoever the powers that be, we always go to government and to cabinet and all. I think they're Public Service Commission, Police Service Commission, whatever. I do hope that they have some substantive and solid reason when the time comes, when the time is right, when push comes to shove, when all those allegations are cleared because they do not meet the standard of proof for evidence or whatever it is. They don't meet that. They don't meet. Like I said, they don't pass muster. That if this man is still there and still eligible, that they will not be afraid for fear of what people will say to give him a shot, to give him a crack at being commissioner. Because for some reason, any time he is acting, I notice things quiet. Somebody told me he's especially good at deployment. Whatever resources, whatever deck of cards he has, he knows how to move the pieces on the checkboard. Let's send 3 vehicles, with 5 officers to that place. Let's do this, let's do that, When it comes to operations and deployments, they tell me he's boss. I don't know brutality, anything, He just knows the resources that he has, where to place them, where they are most needed, where they are best placed, optimization of what it is. That's what I've heard about him. But I just find the police, it's not that they don't have the press briefings. I just find the press briefings do not address the issues, I mean, you have people talking about what's happening on the roads. Somebody come out and say, look, our night patrols will soon be beefed up with the completion of police stations, because deploying officers at night and not having sufficient place for them to, when their shift is over, to sleep or to repair or to retire or to go for a coffee or a sandwich and so on. We are kind of handicapped right now. So, whatever it is, I'm not saying that's what it is. Brief people and let people know what is going on, how things stand, without, of course, compromising the integrity of things that are supposed to be classified, of things that are supposed to be confidential, of things that you shouldn't be talking about because they might compromise investigations, they might compromise cases, they might compromise prosecutions. We understand that. You're the police. We respect you for that. But there are certain things which you need to bring the public into your confidence about. And so likewise, I keep saying, there are certain situations where something is on with Shelton, Daniel, whatever. Sometimes all it takes is somebody, given the goodwill that they have, whether the goodwill is of Richard Frederick. No matter what they tell you, this man has a lot of goodwill, Richard Frederick. A lot of things people they make you believe like he's this blowhard bulldog. No, that's not true, Richard is a smiling, disarming man who can put his arm around somebody's shoulder and talk to them, and in a few seconds they come to an understanding of things maybe they ain't nothing about, That this thing where they have this kind of image of him they like to portray. That's not true. I'm not saying you don't have that side to him. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, a lot of goodwill. Ernest Tiller that they're trying to dirty non-stop and so on. Ernest Tiller is a man who breaks into a smile and knows how to talk to people and can bring people. And I think that's what he may have been trying to do. To pacify a lady who should not have been where she is. And she ain't no reporter. She ain't no journalist. I am sure if without somebody briefing her because they hear me saying this, ask her what are the 5 W's of reporting and journalism. And she'll, 5 W's, what's that? You know, basic for people who get into journalism and reporting and so on. I'm sure there are some basic things that you will ask her that, from the moment somebody sets their foot into the door, even to apply for a job, whoever is interviewing them is already telling them about who, what, when, why, where, etc. and so on. She wouldn't know that. Or classifying her as a reporter. How did she overnight become a reporter? Which press conferences does she get invited to? Even those at Sky FM and of the daily briefings and so on. Just somebody using her for the purpose of trying to set up a minister. This is Ernest Tiller. Maybe his convivial way, maybe his personable way that he does not get credit for. People try to make he like this, he let that, and so on. Not true at all. I'm saying use that goodwill. And if you're a politician, you're supposed to have it, If you're a member of parliament, you don't win a seat. You don't get into parliament and into politics and have a following, and you don't have that way of connecting with people, of generating some chemistry in your interaction with them. And I'm just saying, use that goodwill. Use it when people have issues. Like this man down in the south, this rabbit farmer. Like this ex-teacher, ex-MP and so on. If everything that is due to them or everything that they're asking for cannot be provided, talk to the people. Give them some reassurance. It's one thing when a man has retired. It's one thing when a man is hitting 70 plus and so on. It's one thing and he's not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel in a matter in which he has done no wrong, he didn't commit any missteps and so on. That's simply all I was trying to say. This is about attack and further, it is because people like me provide what from time to time you call critical support, that it gives you an opportunity to look back and say, okay, we need to take a look at that, This idea that if you support a political party or a government, you must never say a word of criticism. I'm very sorry, It's not about me. This ain't right. This is unhelpful. You have too many of people who adopt this yard-foul, sycophantic approach that everything you must say, yeah, you must nod your head. How are new ideas or new viewpoints or perspectives and so on, how are they ever generated if we all believe we have to come around the table and nod our heads? There's too much of that in the country. Too many people keep mun fashek yo, keep mun high yo. So nobody wants to come up, and sometimes those who have called it at meeting, that's exactly what they want. The generation of some ideas and so on to say it. In the absence of that, they always have to go and look for consultants, because everybody always believe, that they have to come and yes, and nod their heads and give, the rubber stamp of agreement and so on to everything. That's unhelpful. That causes an implosion. That causes nothing substantial in terms of freshness or creativity, whatever, to come out of you. And let me what time is it now? Let me say something controversial. That when have I not been controversial? Anson Maxwell, I'm supposed to call you, and I totally forgot, I'll be calling Anson Maxwell after the break. It's not what I'm talking about that he's going to talk about. There are a set of people who seem to have resigned themselves, committed themselves to what I call the yard-foul life. I'm not looking down. I'm not rich that I can say, like the sycophants and, they're beggars and this. I'm not at that level. Sometimes people have to do what they have to do to survive. You heard what I had to say about Venezuela? How I have supported and I have gone out in public demonstrations when I felt the United States was threatening Venezuela and all of that. And I admired the stance that CARICOM took, boldly standing up for Venezuela and so on. I mentioned Prime Ministers Mia Mottley, Ralph Gonzalez, and others who stood up and said, look, hands off Venezuela. This is not advocated and lobbied on behalf of Venezuela. And that I said I felt Venezuela should have had a greater sense of gratitude to CARICOM, a greater sense of solidarity, that Venezuela should not be making at this stage those threatening noises against Guyana over oil extraction and sending patrol boats to intimidate Guyana and putting up a map to show that they've annexed 5/8 of Guyana, the Essequibo region, and actually calling it Guyana Essequiba and this kind of thing. Come on. You should have a greater sense of solidarity with CARICOM. And this idea that they are doing it because it's a good play to the domestic audience and the internal politics of Venezuela. When you do it, you whip up the nationalistic and patriotic fervor of Venezuelans, so you're more likely to... I'm not buying that. When you say you're progressive, you gotta be progressive and reactionary at the same time. The Maduro government, the socialist government of Venezuela, is supposed to be a progressive government. It's supposed to be the government like Nelson Mandela once said to his people, as your leader, it is my duty to tell you when you are wrong. And in this case, I think so and so that you want to take the approach of going to war against the white. I believe you are wrong and this approach is not good. We have to work for the unity, etc. And likewise, I believe Maduro and the socialists of Venezuela, they are the ones better than anyone else. And I'm sure had Chavez lived longer, he probably would have done it, or at least started the process. You wouldn't do it in one day. To begin to massage the internal sentiments of the Venezuelan people and tell them, folks, let's look at this differently. We have the solidarity of Guyana and the CARICOM with us. There's so much we can accomplish together. Look at Guyana now. It's the only country in the world that is totally self-sufficient in food. What can we learn from them? What can they learn from us? What exchanges can we have to develop this hemisphere without looking to dominate and overwhelm each other as the United States has been doing? That's unsuccessfully for all that time. Together with Cuba and so on. What can Guyana give to Cuba in terms of helping it to become even more self-sufficient? In the face of those crushing U.S. embargoes. This is the kind of conversation that I thought someone like Maduro and his party would be best placed to do, and they would undertake to do. Instead, they play into the same old, antiquated, they play into the same bigotry and demagoguery and jingoism, of that is from colonial times, that is reactionary, that belongs to the whole, oligarchy that they themselves want to overthrow on the right wing, rich people and old-time colonial minded and so on. I just find that. But here's the point I wanted to make, and I have to hurry. There are some people, I know of them, I've known of them for years, who don't care about anything but getting an opportunity to travel, to get a trip. A trip usually sponsored by the government of a country that has diplomatic relations with us and the embassy, whether it is Taiwan, whether it's Cuba, whether it's Venezuela, to get a trip and to travel and so on. And that means everything. Nothing wrong with that, Nothing wrong with that. And all that matters to them is the per diem, that allowance that they give you and so on, spending money and so on. So, they kind of live for that. And they'll do anything. So there are a set of people who have created this little box-like club, or where they corner, everything pertaining to those embassies and foreign missions, and they become the ones who will offer themselves or recommend others, and so it becomes their tight little circle. Of always creating a little bawad so that they can get the trips and the per diems. And they look at what they have to do. Whether it is the Taiwanese, I said, Guyanese, Cuba, whatever. They have that little, that little clique that they tightly control. And they go and they move along people to the embassy and the foreign representatives and diplomat and whatever. I know one of them, my good buddy. I wouldn't name him. I'm not here to embarrass him. Who I know for years specialized in telling the Cuban ambassadors, more than one, how Shelton is anti-Cuban. Shelton does support Cuba at all. Who speaks up more for Cuba and say about, look, Cuba has taken food out of their mouth to help us and so on. Who has spoken about Gaddafi, whatever we can say. This man seemed to have a heart for black people, black Africa, and I think he wanted to extend this benevolence. And every time we have leaders like that, radical as they may be, who show a willingness to help us, marginalized and small, threadbare in resources and so on in the Caribbean, America, Britain, France must find a way to overthrow them, kill them, do something. And I wonder whether it's us they don't want. I've said that many times. But these people, because maybe you might say something critical. It's like, if you support somebody, you must never say anything critical. They specialize in going to do this kind of mal-pally thing. And I'm aware that there are others, maybe of the same clique, who have been doing the same with respect to others. And I don't think it's genuinely they hate me, or they have anything. It's this kind of thing that I have to find a way for them to tell you mash, because if not, you're going to eat my food. And my food being the trip, the per diem, It's amazing, how some people see everything as a threat. That you are a threat. If you come, it might mean they might be out. So next time, they want to box it and so on. I want to tell you all, stop this foolishness. It really is foolishness. This mal-pally nonsense and always trying to see if you can elbow somebody aside because their place at the table means less food for you and this kind of thing. Stop this nonsense. I mean, I know we probably not millionaires and so on, and we can do it for a little dollar here, and we are enhanced, we feel, by a little trip here. But if it has to come to the cost of that kind of succès, of that kind of mal-pally, of that kind of backstabbing, at the end of the day, whatever you gain in that, the currency will be seriously devalued in terms of you as a person. Stop this nonsense. And stop picking on me to quickly run and shy Powell and bring message because Shelton was heard expressing a critical point of view about Cuba and or about Venezuela or about this or that or Taiwan. You know, I know who you are. I know who you all are. And it's not all of you all, you know, but there's some of you all I know who have been doing this thing. I'm unbothered by it. I'm undiminished by it. And I ain't here to eat your food or to compete with you for per diem or this kind of thing. I'm the last person who ever rushes when those things are up to get the trip and to get the this and to get the per diem and to go on this and that. I'm the last person to. You know the amount of offers that are made to me? But I took this job on here at the request of Dr. McDowell, not for me to be sauntering off here and there and this and that and the other. I took it with a great sense of responsibility. I take it very seriously. And I take the contribution that I want to make to public discussion. I don't let it go to my head. But when I say things, I don't always get it right. Many times I get it wrong. But I say it with a deep conviction that I can at least get people thinking. I can get some conversation started. And I can get some ideas stimulated and so on. I don't let it go to my head, and I don't think I'm more than what I really am. I'm not at all. When I say these things, I say them with a deep, deep sincerity. That my saying them, the intensity, the conviction, the passion that I say it with, can at least kindle and stimulate some thinking towards a positive outcome. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. When we come back, as I said, I'll be calling Anson Maxwell. And then not long thereafter, the lines will be open for your calls. We'll be reading your messages.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Ready for the most exciting football competition in St. Lucia. The JP, it's a side medium goals football competition, is coming to the home of football in Foasson. Presented by John Paul, the SLP endorsed candidate for Babonneau. This tournament promises to be an unforgettable experience. Join us on Saturday, September 6th and Sunday, September 7th from 5 p.m. onwards. Compete against the best teams and win big. The prizes are as follows. First place winner, $2,000 in cash. Second place, $1,000. Third place, $500. Most goals, $250. And MVP, also $250. For more information, call 727-8180. Don't miss out on the action. Mark your calendars for September 6th and 7th and come support your favorite team at the home of football in Foaso. It's gonna be epic. The JP, it's a side medium goals football competition where skill meets excitement. See you there.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Appreciate you staying with the real issues powered by Blue Waters. Anson Maxwell, I hope you were listening, because if you were, you'll know that I'm going to be calling you right now. Jaquan, can you put the mic on the desk for me so I can see if I can get Anson Maxwell right now to bring me up to speed with something apparently he was listening to, and he said, Brother Anson.
Good afternoon, Brother Shelton Daniel.
Yes, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderfully good, thanks for asking. And I am on air.
Yes, you're live on air now.
Okay, I want to say good afternoon to everybody, all listeners from all over the world, wherever they are listening from. The real issue is the place to be. That's where you get all the real news, even if sometimes people doesn't like what is said on real issues.
Okay, so, Brother Anson, I understand that you were listening. That you were listening to something where you heard a politician threatening to sue you and me. So tell me about it.
As a matter of fact, I cannot understand a bully like the wrong guy, Joseph, would threaten to sue you and I and have his lawyers reviewing the tip, alleging that we said things that is defamatory to him. As a matter of fact, if I am to use the correct word, Mr. Brother Sheldon, he used the word insinuating, and we don't have to mention his name, that he is reviewing the tip with his lawyers to determine whether or not that there is going to be a lawsuit against specifically Sheldon, Daniel, and Hanson.
Okay. Tell me more. What's it that he's saying we insinuated about it? Is this something you are permitted to talk about?
Okay, that was the word. He actually used the word insinuated, and what he's saying that our alleged reporting of the incident at the park, wherever the name of the park, I don't quite remember.
Yeah, the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, yeah.
Darren Sammy Park, there was an alleged encounter with someone that words were out, that there was some text messages that were explicit, and allegedly it came from him. And then that we were saying that he was involved in matters, that implicated him in the text messages that is out there, that is allegedly out there, being circulated around, that he, Guy Joseph, was involved in sending them to a 12-year-old girl.
Okay.
And I also heard, as a matter of fact, on the same show, I heard him said that the information that is being disseminated by yourself and I is a AI generated text. He did not deny the existence of the text messages, but he would say they are AI generated, and they are framing him with an AI generated. He never denied the existence. As a matter of fact, I believe, he was acknowledging, but he was saying that it was framed and that they have all this, concerted effort to frame him in an AI-generated message to the public.
Okay.
And that he's going to sue you and I.
Okay, well, who can prevent the man from doing what he wants to do? But what I find strange from everything you've told me so far, it appears to me that in a situation where he was not identified, he was not mentioned, but he says that by insinuation or innuendo, that people can know it's him we're talking about. Whether he is not the one who has stepped forward and taken ownership of something, and self-identified with that thing when nobody pointed any finger at him in any way that anybody could say it was him. I don't know. It looks like, from what I'm hearing, and I don't want to say too much about it, that he has come forward, he has self-identified, and he has taken ownership of what he says is an allegation made via innuendo against him. So, I don't know if you want to say anything further. It doesn't sound like something too interesting to me. In fact, I don't regret having not heard it myself. But go ahead, Brother Anson.
Like I said, I am not, if allegations, if people are to be brought to court for allegations, then I think the biggest culprit would be Guy Joseph himself.
Yep.
Because I follow Guy Joseph very closely, and I am perfectly aware. And I want to tell Guy Joseph, I am not afraid of him, and I never will be. So I am sending this message on that same show back to Guy Joseph, that he is the biggest bully St. Lucia has ever known. And when he is saying that what Minerva Ward put out there is not AI generated, but all the text messages that he has now taken ownership for as a result of his willingness to sue us, he is now, like I said, take on the ownership of it. And that is what he does more so than anything else.
Yeah, because
I further want to say, Ben, I further want to say that this is the same Guy Joseph who insinuated in his remark openly on a Sunday Live that the Honorable Sean Edward, when he introduced pads for the young girls, that he said to Sean Edward that you are not a woman. I never know that government passing legislation for people for what they need would have to be a woman. He is not a woman. And does he have nefarious intentions to know when the young girls have their period, what are his intention for the same girls that the school is providing? Sean is not provided. Sean happens to be the Minister of Education. And Sean, in his capacity as Minister of Education, would make allocation through the Ministry of Education and not Sean as a person. But he leveled accusation at Sean as an individual. Not in his capacity as his ministerial responsibility, but as Sean Edward himself.
All right.
So I am not afraid of Guy. I don't care what Guy thinks. I don't care what he says. I am waiting for him. As a matter of fact, I would like for Guy to escalate what he says and take me to court. For what he says is an insinuation. Of his name being tarnished by yourself and I.
All right. Well, let's see how that goes, because again, I'll repeat myself. This sounds like somebody who, if he's right, an innuendo was being bandied about, something was being insinuated, but he steps forward and says, "It's me." He raises his hand and said, "It's me. It's me."
Yes.
It's me. I mean, this is self-identification. That you have done when nobody. And I was not the one. I'm not going to do anything like I'm trying to throw my co-host under the bus. But whatever was said there, it sounds to me like something that Terry Fenelon was a lot more familiar with. He mostly brought it up, and my response to it was, look, if any of this has any substance to it, it is something the United Workers' Party, since it is so concerned about the treatment of women in terms of what Richard Frederick allegedly says that's disparaging about women, in terms of Ernest Hilaire having allegedly shoved a woman, physically shoved her at the Parliament building, then clearly if something involves a minor and one as young as 12 or 13 or whatever age I was hearing, then this certainly needs some inquiry. It needs to be looked into, and maybe it is something the United Workers' Party should be interested in to comment upon. That was the essence, and I'm saying it here again. If that identifies him, or that is some kind of insinuation or accusation against him, then it is the gentleman's right to proceed. Let him proceed. Altercation at cricket ground or this sort of thing. He knows, so he'll be called upon to give a description, his account of what transpired, and I'm sure people who can convince investigators and a court that they were witnesses will say what they witnessed. Yeah.
Yes, that is why I welcome him escalating it.
Yeah.
And I am telling Guy Joseph, I welcome your escalation of the alleged, explicit text messages that you have taken ownership of and say it is an AI generated instead of it allegedly coming from you.
Yeah.
So if you believe that it is an AI generated, as you stated on the show yesterday, I am inviting you to escalate, and bring forward and show us the text messages and show us where it was AI generated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sheldon,
while I am on, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been hearing chat about the girl's father confronted, who over that and so on, and that is what the confrontation at the cricket ground was about, a confrontation by the father of a minor or then minor, because I heard that thing is not even recent, it's something that has come up in the past and so on. I hear all this sort of thing. You are a public figure. Anything that involves you, especially when it plays out in public, it is something in the public domain. It becomes something of public interest. And the first thing you should do, or your organization should come out, is to try to clear the air about something. But you're reaching for the sue button. You're the man who, as they say, en public, ka lave lang ou ale moun, plus passe, pièce lot moun, ka lave lang you. La même, tout bon man kon sa ou vin susceptible kon, like I said. Go ahead, brother Anson. Go ahead.
Ma jeme wè sa de fwa. Ma jeme wè an nom ki ka bouli tout moun an savana. Odi jou ou tana bagay ou vini tellement susceptible. C'est premier bagay ou vle fè se mene moun l'audience. Le lang ou pli li passe a vie gambo. Actuellement ça là. Ou vini pa vle tan anye about kou that ou vle mene moun l'audience. Ebe ou just commencé mene moun l'audience. Et moi-même kamade pour Guy Joseph pour même bagay la imade monsieur Ernest Ile, ministre Ernest Ile. Pour lui-même résigner position comme un deputy political leader et un former minister until cloud la qui ka hang over là. Until lui-même ça clair. Ça y quoi c'est AI là, c'est pas AI. Et c'est by lui-même. Moi vle that lui-même pas participer pour parler by nation pièce question. Tout temps lui-même qui vini dit c'est lui nous qu'a parler about pour venir mener en résolution à bagay là qui ka aller à présent. C'est ça moi qu'a dit monsieur Guy Joseph. Et moi yon minute pour m'aider yon by brother Sheldon.
Oui.
Moi t'en là qu'a parler about Venezuela. Et moi toujours ça bagay qui passe ou bien chaque passion là on parler about ça qui ka aller that Venezuela ka annex l'huile terre côté Guyana.
Yo vle fait, yo pouvez faire.
Moi dit yo ka annoncé. Oui, bon moi quand dit comme ça, since monsieur Dominique Fédé, c'est un membre qui a tapé gros position en gouvernement qui a représenté Saint-Lucie à d'un côté qui régional in a regional position where he represents St. Lucia. Since Dominic Fede is from Guyana and all of this is going on, I would like to hear his take on what is going on in Guyana, whether or not he believes that the Venezuelans are right or the Guyanese. I need to hear his take since he is so vocal in St. Lucian politics as minister and all the position he has held. I would like to hear what Dominic Fede himself has to say on what is going on in Venezuela and his home country, Guyana.
Okay. I'm sure he's listening.
All right.
Thank you very much.
right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, Brother Anson. What I'll do now straight away, let me open the phone lines, okay, for your calls. And we'll continue that after the break until 2 o'clock. But we have time for a couple calls. The number you can reach us on, you can WhatsApp call us on 758 the area code 487-9849. That's 487-9849. And also on 4533-911. We have our first caller. You're on the air. Good afternoon.
Shelton, my friend.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Shelton, the Lord did not give us a
Speak up a bit. I don't know if it's you or...
Yeah. Are you with me?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Lord did not give us a spirit of fear, but He gave us a spirit of love, power, boldness, and of sound mind.
Yes, indeed, He did.
So you see, fear must never conquer us. And Sheldon, I am making a statement there now. If you are served with any lawsuit, I am going to pledge $500 towards your legal fees. And all real issues will come about and support you and defend you. You see what I'm telling you?
Yes.
We are in that together, my brother.
Okay.
You only mention no names. That is the same man that said, Ma pe pièson pour faire crime ba moi. Si many pour faire crime, na faire crime moi-même. That is the same man who said he had to lie to the Taiwanese. That is the same man who said if he can build 10 schools for his wife. That is the same man who attacking people left, right, and center. And today, a little full toss, they throw at you. You want to play like you want to sue? That's Shelton, stand firm, my brother. You are on the side of truth, my brother.
Thank you very much. I wonder how come Ernest Hilaire has not talked about suing, you know? People go in and do all kinds of
things they do,
digitally manipulated images and so on to come and show like he hit somebody and all kind of things, you know.
People saying all kinds of evil, say Joachim Henry son is a sacrifice death that there, all kind of things. So and today they throw a little full toss at you. You want to sue? But go back with that, boy.
Yeah, you know, up to now, those messages or whatever allegedly to child and so on. I haven't seen them. I haven't asked for them.
Names, all of a sudden, a little full toss there for
they don't really interest me. People have told me there are pictures involved, all kind of thing. I have not asked for it. I have never said, okay, let me see or anything like that.
And he will make things worse.
You know,
he will make things worse.
All I have said. If you see he was so concerned about the things that are going on with women,
people will come out and talk right now.
This one is a very, very young woman. This one is a child, even though one of the text messages allegedly describes the child as being a woman, as being a beautiful woman. Boy. I'm in clear the air. I am not involved in any kind of, this, I don't know.
That's only, that 2016, they come with your pair. Baba. Yeah. Run back with that boy.
Okay, my brother. Thank you very much.
Papa. Run back with that, Papa.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good afternoon. Someone who's a public servant just sent me a couple of messages, but I want to be careful how I read them so that I don't create any problems where, that's not intended. But we have a call on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good day, Shelton.
How are you doing, my bro?
Yes, I'm good. So Shelton, kalti yon mou ka boya because people be women who have tattoo.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know you to be somebody that drink.
Exactly, Susa.
Exactly, Susa. Yeah. And whatnot. So it's difficult to use that so.
Hey, some say.
But seriously, look who's talking. But Ventista really Nietzsche. Honestly, I'm so baffled. I'm lost forward. But anyway, that's for another show. And I also want to congratulate the president of Guyana in from Ali and Jamaica. So you see the tide? That's what that will continue. There is election in St. Vincent this year, if you are aware. And Ralphie will come back in power.
Yes.
And then the very same will happen in St. I know you've been following politics for a long time, Shelton, and you see the trend. When you see parties remain in power. You see that trend most of the time in the other islands. No change is required. Yes.
Okay.
And the very same will happen in Barbados, and it will be no different in St. Lucia. Yes, and mark my word at that.
Okay.
Yes. No change is required because yeah, the bad kids are will and come again. Because the bypass exam.
All right, my friend. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Shelton. Yeah, bye.
All right. 487-9849 and 4533-911. But Jaquan says it's time for us to go for the break. So we'll resume the calls when we return. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters, our final program for the first week of September. Someone has decided to call. Now what do we do, Jaquan? We leave them holding on. Let's take the call. Yeah, let's take it. Okay, caller, I actually squeezed out some of my break time for you when I'd announced it already, so you better make this good. Real Issues. All right, okay, so you see how they made it good, right? Okay, we're going for the break. They can ring again all they want. Don't go away.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Get ready for the most exciting football competition in St. Lucia. The JP, it's a side medium goals football competition, is coming to the home of football in Foasson. Presented by John Paul, the SLP endorsed candidate for Babonneau. This tournament promises to be an unforgettable experience. Join us on Saturday, September 6th and Sunday, September 7th from 5 p.m. onwards. Compete against the best teams and win big. The prizes are as follows. First place winner, $2,000 in cash. Second place, $1,000. Third place, $500. Most goals, $250. And MVP, also $250. For more information, call 727-8180. Don't miss out on the action. Mark your calendars for September 6th and 7th and come support your favorite team at the home of football in Foasson. It's gonna be epic. The JP, it's a side medium goals football competition where skill meets excitement. See you there.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters is on, and straight away we have a caller on the line. You're on the air, go ahead. Hello? Hello? I heard that bloke, I think they're gone, you know. Mr. Shelton, there is another thing brewing in the public service where a course was advertised and 250 public servants have completed the course. Some were certified and some are not till this day. Cannot get promoted as a result. This is not good for the public service, and I understand it's just one or two persons that are holding the government ransom on that matter. We need this resolved, please. If it is that they want to stop for more requirements, do so for future enrollment, but don't certify some answers halfway, stop and request investigations. Due diligence should be done before engaging persons to apply or enroll. All right, that's something I think I mentioned this morning. What else they said there? Persons with whom we did class assignments together. Hold on a second for me. And participated in the same forums, but finished 3 months before us got their certification. And to others, they just decided no more certification. Too many to be promoted. But the PM asked for one degree, one university graduate, they said, per family or per household. We wrote a petition, got no response, and wrote to the Minister of Education, still no response. So we were left with no choice but to consult a lawyer on the matter. 250 students, they repeat. All right, hi caller, good afternoon, Real Issues. Hello? Is somebody tying up the line deliberately, man? I share in confidence. We need to resolve it. We need a resolve. I think we need a solution. It has been a long wait for certification of this document, which we were encouraged to go out and achieve by the same ministry. So I suppose this will some internal discussions between whoever is representing the public servants and the government. They need some kind of discussion on that.
Hello?
Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
The thing about politics now, it's getting dirty and it's not nice, especially on the other side. I was watching something on Facebook and whatever, where Spider telling Richard he not seeing in one eye, he blind and what. That is a call for in a election. You're trying to win election, and that is like maybe calling down name. Them, I find them grown-up people behaving like children now. That's not nice at all. People don't buy blindness. People don't buy sickness. You don't go to supermarket and see any sickness there and buy it. Anybody could get blind. You walk into there, something hits you on your eye, you get blind. You go and see doctor, they tell you have something coming out on your eye, you get blind. So that's not looking nice. Every time like that, people hey, you'll make it down, giving. That's not nice. At all. I don't like that.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
All right. 487-9849. That's the line on which you can WhatsApp call us. 758-487-9849. And you can also send WhatsApp text messages by going to realfmofficial.com. That's realfmofficial.com, or to mbcslu.com and click on the WhatsApp messaging links there. Type your message,
Good afternoon.
hit the send button, and it is going to come to us in real time.
Daniel.
Yes, forward là. Bonjour.
Yes, après papa, bon Dieu, merci. Ça me voulait dire. Papa bon Dieu prêche nous, il parle de nous. Là il a quitté la terre. Papa bon Dieu parle de nous, il prêche de nous. Et qui quitte tout ça, il quitte de nous, il dit nous pour là il vivre et puis garder pour nous. Là il vient la trompette là nous tani bleu, il sort chercher justice ben nous, c'est ça quitter. Mais nous avons menti à la monnaie do thou shall not make false witness against thy neighbor. Et c'est ça qui est la terre pli. Menti, moi-même pas quoi il a sorti. Là, mon besoin l'argent, et bien, voulons l'argent, quand on moun, et bien, non, hem, quand on moun. Yo ka tiye any shit. À la moun n'a pas pain, à la ouvrier. Et yo savent pain, pas capoter de l'eau, sorte la ouvrier, c'est bon, la capoter de l'eau. Yo ka menti, yo Dieu c'est Christian. Yo pas qu'à read, mais moi-même, yo pas qu'à comprendre qui ça reading la kadia. La papa do thou shall not make. Et qu'on make shall. Ou qu'on make shall. Dieu bien monsieur. Premier bagay qui est là, qui rapide gohan. De laisse ça pas vouer. Parce que vous comprenez, de la moun sont en soif, les moun nan sibi. Mais maintenant, monsieur, te bayi, ville, 2 sums, puis bayi moun sa la. Et là, même d'une Ridley 125 morceaux la prière, moi. Il rapide, et moi content, monsieur pas à generation, à dire. Puis on a dit 7 generation. Non, monsieur pas mettre, monsieur moi content ça. Avec nous, nous pouvons accepter que Dieu n'a pas encouragé nous. Si moi, je viens de nous cabaner, nous, moi, moi-même, je suis. Ma vle, mon n'a joué, moi. Ça, c'est pas une parole pour un monde qui a ouvert bouche libre, c'est ça, moi, je dis, moi, qui te ban nous, nga Ridley, nga comprendre, nga parler. Thou shall not make false witness against thy neighbor. Papa qui dit, pas moi qui dit. Merci, M. Sheldon Daniel. Tout le monde qui a une voix forward là, merci. Et meilleur people à finir.
Merci un peu forward là, et puis passez une bonne journée et un bon week-end. All right. Now I have some messages that people have been sending me. One said, tell Guy if he's taking you to court, it's not you alone he will take to court. He have to take a lot of people to court. Well, already he's starting with... He didn't say he's taking us to court. He said he's having his lawyer review things that we said. So I suppose if he has decided, I don't know why he put it in the hand of his lawyer. I don't know. Whatever it is. It is what it is. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Another person said, Guy Joseph has so much court to go to. I hope he has enough clothes for court. He just started to sue. But he has much more people suing him. Like Anson said, he's St. Lucia's biggest bully. All right. Another person regarding Deputy Commissioner of Police Ronald Phillips said, Shelton, if Ronald is a DCP, he should be made in charge of operations. It's not if he is, he is the Deputy Commissioner of Police. I mean, he is. He has been for a little while. Empress Bobo asked me to send again greetings that she sent earlier this morning. It says, blessed earth strong to my loving friend Archima Nicholas, aka Chichi of Baron Drive in Soufre, celebrating her earth strong today. Wishing her more blessings, more life, more health, more strength, more love, more joy. These greetings coming from Empress Bobo with love. Alright, so I think I had read this greeting and she pleaded with me to make sure. What's a bad ventis, folks? Somebody's telling me, don't bother with that bad ventis guy, So, what's a bad ventis? If a person is a bad person, whether it be a ventis or bad John or whatever, you have every reason to be afraid of them, So, be careful with that. We're taking your calls, 487-9849 and 45-33911. Thank you very much for the message. Someone who says, one of the curious phenomena of 21st century politics, of which there are many examples internationally, is people refusing to accept the outcome of democratic elections. I think back to the Brooks Brothers riot, which set up the stealing of the 2000 US presidential election by G.W. Bush, which had its most serious echo in the Trump refusal to accept defeat in 2020 and the January 6 events. Then there is Bolsonaro in Brazil recently. Key in all of these was the ways in which Fox News and then social media manipulation created a reality in which the losers felt that they had won. Now in Guyana, we have a bizarre attempt by the two main losing parties to deny their defeat, with the manufactured reality of social media and propaganda websites leading their supporters to believe sincerely that they have been cheated. How the PNP in Jamaica accepted their defeat in Tuesday's election within less than a day after the polls closed looks quite old-fashioned. All right, from Richard Drayton, the playbook of opposition now, expect it here. Did hear whispers of it in 2021. Dangerous poison. All I'm going to tell you, see this Trump fella, they believe he'll go quietly if he survives till the end of his term. That is in 2028. If he survives and he's in good health and he has his faculties reasonably well, Trump is not going to want to just give up and accept that he can't continue being president, whether he wins and even more so if he loses. He'll not accept that he's lost. He'll not accept that he has to step down. He just won't, That's the supreme egotist and narcissist and whatever other ist that he is. We have a call on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Mr. Daniel, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you. How are you doing?
I'm there holding. Good afternoon to all your listeners.
Speak up a bit for me, because you're a little far away. Your voice sounding like it's coming all the way from Library or something, so,
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, my friend. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this here. Jamaica, 32% turnout rate for the last election.
Yeah.
Guyana.
I think Jamaica was 38% this time. They say it was 32 before. I don't know, but but it's a low turnout. Guyana low turnout as well.
Guyana is 32 also.
Yeah, in both cases.
Barbados in 2022 was 44%. Trinidad in 2025 was 54%. Can you explain to me, if you know, what seems to be happening with these low turnouts?
I don't know, my friend. I honestly don't know. They normally say a low turnout, it favors the incumbent. It's when people are generally satisfied with the way things are going, that people are more motivated to go out and vote when they want to remove a government.
That's correct. That's
now,
what they say.
In the case of Guyana and Jamaica, notice the governments, they survived.
That's correct.
The government survived. And in Trinidad, the government was changed, and you were above 50% in Trinidad, right? From what you just told me there.
But you were only above by 4%.
Yeah, but still, it's higher than 32% or 38%. It's significantly higher than 32 and 38%. Don't you agree?
No, you're correct.
Yes,
you're correct.
It is said that when people want to remove a government, that's when they're motivated, and the people who consider, well, we win already, the government is doing, the country is going fine, as if they don't feel the same motivation to go out and vote, to keep a government,
But there's also another aspect of all these elections too. I don't know if you take any interest in it. I do take a lot of interest. All these voters lists for all of these islands that I've called for you, and even St. Lucia, is very, very close to the population, Take Trinidad, for example. Trinidad population is 1.3 million people. But on the voters list, they have 1.5 million people. Guyana.
No, hold on. You're saying the voters list exceeds the population?
No, it hasn't been. Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, but they're very, very close. That's what I'm saying. So the question now becomes, these voters lists throughout the islands, do we now have to have a house-to-house enumeration, and all these people who are now out of the country, must we remove their names from that list?
Or maybe people who have died and so on, and their names were never deleted from the list. Yeah?
I do not believe
because
that
let's look at it. It is possible to have a population of, let's say, 2.3 million and a voters list of 2 million, because let's face it, it's below 18 you can't vote. Now the size of that demographic will probably not be as great as the one that is open-ended, 18 and above. You understand? 18 and above, you qualify to be on the voters list. Now maybe not everybody will register or be automatically registered or whatever and so on. But what I'm saying, maybe it points to the need to clean up voters list and to do it manually and physically and go house to house, almost like you have to do a census, you know?
Well, here's a problem, Mr. Daniel. You cannot just remove somebody's name from the voters list.
Exactly.
Without doing a house to house.
Yeah, once their name is there, their name is pretty much there for life, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making.
Do you believe we can have an electronic system that once somebody dies, that it is entered, inputted, it's confirmed, death certificate is issued, that we can have what we call an automatic cross-checking of the places where that person is registered so that they can be deregistered? So voters list will be one of them. You know, other things, because the person is now deceased. It is now a certified thing. It is now a known fact. So that they can automatically, that information can get circulated across various platforms via DigiGov or something like that. So that you know you can remove the person from the driver's license, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? That person can have a driver's license and remove their name from the voters list and so on, because it is now certified that they are deceased. Do you think that's something that's workable?
Well, yes, that is something that they should look into. Because the system that we now have, the registry. The registry, every month or every 3 months, sends a list based on the information they have to the electoral office, and that's how you extract the names. But based on what you're saying, yes, we could try to improve the system by having a computer system like that. Yeah. That could work too.
Yeah.
But I also of the view, now this one can be very ticklish, and you know, people might get mad. If you have attained a US passport, I think your name should come off the list.
Okay.
I am of the view. If you got an American passport, a Canadian passport, a British passport, your name should come up.
So you're not in favor of duality, that a person can have dual citizenship, or they become a citizen of another country, but they still retain their rights and privileges as a national of the home country or the originating country. You don't believe in that?
I have questioned that.
Okay.
Because let me ask you something.
We have another caller waiting, so wrap up, please.
Yes, but I'll give you this one fast.
Yes.
Can you travel from the United States as a citizen of the United States to St. Lucia with a St. Lucian passport?
I don't think so.
You cannot. So what is your name doing on the list?
Okay.
You cannot do it.
If you are a citizen of the United States, right?
Number two, that's correct.
Yeah.
Number two, our law says for you to vote in an election, you must be home, 6 months to a year residing?
I think 6 months, yeah.
So if you're not residing there in the last 6 months, what gives you the right to come and vote?
Okay.
So you see, we have to look at everything. Everything we have to look at.
Okay.
Anyway, let you have the next caller.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon, Real Issues.
Hi, Shelton. Good afternoon.
How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay, Shelton, a couple things in response to the last caller. Shelton, several years ago, I read a report by the then Chief Elections Officer.
His volume a bit for me. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry?
You read a report by what? By who?
By a former Chief Elections Officer. That was a post-elections report.
Okay.
And one of the things in that report, one of the items or issues in that report, or one of the statements, was that a comprehensive cleansing of the voters' list must be done so people get a true picture of what the voters' list represents. That was several years ago. As to whether this has been done or not, I can't say. But I know too that several years ago, and again in response to what the last caller said, I know too several years ago, there was a big discussion on linking the Electoral Department with the Registry of Births and Deaths and so on, so that once somebody died and the requisite process or processes were carried out to determine yes, that person is actually dead, the evidence is there, the documentation is there, that person would be removed from the voters list.
Okay.
Now, there was also another discussion in terms of not waiting until somebody turned 18 or whatever to get to get a national ID. Once you reached a certain age, you automatically, once you applied, in fact, as a student, you got a student's ID, and once you reached the age, and the thing is, your name would be put on a provisional list. On a provisional list. So once you reached the age, the voting age, your name would be moved from the provisional list to the voters list. That would be done automatically. Once it was determined exactly where you lived, and so on, your name would be put on that voters list in terms of where you lived. So all those discussions, were had from way back. I think it must be close to 2 decades now.
Right.
Since all those discussions were had. I don't know what the situation is with that right now. But I think those discussions ought to be revisited so people can know exactly where we're at with those discussions and whether there are certain things, certain recommendations arising out of those discussions that could be implemented.
Okay.
Thanks, Shelton.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have time for any more calls, or that pretty much should do it for us, Jaquan? All right, okay. I think we really have to wrap it up now. Let's take this call. If the lotto cuts in, we'll have to fade out, okay? Hi, Real Issues. You're our last caller.
Sheldon, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
You see that voters list? It's 18 years my mother died, and her name is still on the voting list since she was there.
That's what I was saying. To me, once your name is on there, unless some deliberate effort is made to purge and to cleanse the voters list, people's name will remain there for life and forever. You still there? All right, okay. That's all the time that we have for Real Issues today and for the week. Thank you so very much, everyone, for having been part of it. Thank you very much, Jaquan, for another superb job with the controls. God willing, all things equal, we'll do this again starting Monday from 12:30 to 2 p.m. on Real FM Radio, MBC Television, Facebook, and YouTube live streaming. Shelton Daniel for the Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, saying enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend safely. Signing out.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Get ready for the most exciting football competition in St. Lucia. The JP, it's a side medium goals football competition, is coming to the home of football in Foasson. Presented by John Paul, the SLP endorsed candidate for Babano. This tournament promises to be an unforgettable experience. Join us on Saturday, September 6th and Sunday, September 7th from 5 p.m. onwards. Compete against the best teams and win big. The prizes are as follows. First place winner, $2,000 in cash. Second place, $1,000. Third place, $500. Most goals, $250. And MVP, also $250. For more information, call 727-8180. Don't miss out on the action. Mark your calendars for September 6th and 7th and come support your favorite team at the home of football in Foasson. It's gonna be epic. The JP, it's a side medium goals football competition where skill meets excitement. See you there.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
What is the vision for the Vendors Arcade?